Did you know that some of the wealthiest people build their financial fortunes during economic downturns? In fact, nearly 50% of Fortune 500 companies were founded during recessions or bear markets. Today, I'm sharing 5 powerful lessons on how to turn financial challenges into opportunities that could completely transform your relationship with money. Hey there, welcome back to the Change Curve. I'm Christine, and today we're tackling something that might feel a bit counterintuitive. We all face financial challenges, whether it's a job loss, an economic downturn, unexpected expenses, or just the feeling that we're never quite getting ahead. But what if these challenges aren't just obstacles? What if they're actually opportunities in disguise? Let's be honest. Facing financial adversities is tough. It can feel overwhelming, stressful, and sometimes even shameful. Many of us have been there, staring at our bills, we're not sure how to pay, watching our savings dwindling, or feeling stuck in financial situations that seem impossible to escape. The conventional wisdom tells us to hunker down during tough times and play it safe to avoid risk. But here's what most people miss. Adversity often creates the perfect conditions for growth and opportunity. It forces us to think differently, to get creative, and to develop skills and mindsets that we might never have discovered otherwise. The problem is, when we're in the thick of a financial challenge, it's hard to see beyond the immediate struggles. We focus on survival rather than strategy. We react rather than respond, and in doing so, we often miss the wealth building opportunities that are hiding in plain sight. Lesson 1. Adversity reveals your financial blind spots. When things are going well financially, it's easy to ignore small leaks in the money bucket. Maybe you're overspending on subscriptions you barely use, or you haven't negotiated better rates on your insurance or mortgage. Financial pressures force you to examine every aspect of your finances with a magnifying glass. This scrutiny often reveals blind spots that have been quietly draining your resources for years. Take James, for example. After being made redundant during the pandemic, he went through his bank statement line item by line and discovered he was spending over $300 a month on his subscriptions and memberships that he rarely used. That's $3,600 a year. By cutting these unnecessary expenses, he not only weathered his period of unemployment, but actually came out of it with better financial habits that continued to benefit him after he found a new job. Lesson 2. Constraints drive innovation. There's a saying in the design world that constraints drive creativity, and the same is true for your finances. When resources are limited, you're forced to find creative solutions. During economic downturns, we often see a surge in side hustles, freelance work, and new small businesses. People discover skills that they can monetize or needs they can fill in the marketplace. Consider the story of Airbnb. The founders were struggling to pay their rent in San Francisco during the 2008 recession. Their solution? They put an air mattress in their living room and charged people to stay there during the design conference when hotels were fully booked. That makeshift solution, born from financial necessity, evolved into a company now worth billions. I've heard of people starting successful side hustles during financial hardship, from virtual assistants to handmade crafts to consulting in their area of expertise. These ventures often start as stopgap measures, but evolve into significant income streams or even full-time businesses. Lesson 3. Adversity tests and strengthens your financial systems. Think of financial adversity as a stress test for your money management system. During good times, flawed systems can still function. It's only when they're put under pressure that the weaknesses become apparent. A solid emergency fund, diversified income streams, and clearly defined financial priorities aren't just nice to have. They're essential safeguards during challenging times. If your systems fail under pressure, it's an opportunity to rebuild them stronger. Lisa realized during the 3-month period of reduced income that her budgeting system was essentially non-existent. She was using a mental accounting approach that fell apart when her finances became more complex. This realization led her to implement a proper budgeting system that not only helped her through the tough times, but accelerated her savings rate once her income returned to normal. Lesson number 4. Market downturns create buying opportunities. Warren Buffett famously advised to be fearful when others are greedy and greedy when others are fearful. Some of the greatest wealth building opportunities occur during economic downturns when assets are undervalued. Now, I'm not suggesting you bet your life savings on speculative investments, but if you have a solid financial foundation and a long term perspective, economic downturns can be the perfect time to acquire assets at a discounted price, whether that's shares, property, or even investing in your own education or business. During the financial crisis, those who had the resources and courage to invest in the stock market saw their investments multiply as the market recovered. Similarly, those who were able to purchase property during the downturn often secured bargains that appreciated significantly once the market rebounded. Lesson 5. Perhaps the most valuable lesson adversity teaches us is resilience, the ability to bounce back from setbacks and adapt to changing circumstances. Financial resilience isn't just about having money in the bank, it's about developing the mindset and skills to navigate uncertainty. People who have weathered financial storms often develop a confidence that comes from knowing that they can survive and even thrive in challenging conditions. They're less likely to panic during market fluctuations and more likely to make rational, long-term decisions about their money. After my first manage evolved, I experienced some challenging circumstances at work. I had a bit of money set aside after selling our family home and decided to take some time off from working to invest time in my personal development. That experience taught me the importance of multiple income streams and building skills that would be valuable across different industries. The resilience I developed during that difficult period has been far more valuable in the long run than a stable paycheck I thought I needed. Let me tell you about Maria, a single mother drowning in debt, working 2 jobs and still barely making ends meet. When COVID hit and she lost both her jobs within the same week, it seemed like the final blow in an already difficult financial situation. But instead of giving up, Maria used that moment of adversity as a catalyst for change. She took stock of her skills and realized that her experience in administration work could be valuable to businesses that were suddenly going remote. She started offering virtual assistant services to small businesses, working flexible hours from home while her children were doing remote schooling. What began as a desperate measure to generate some income transformed into a thriving business. Today, Maria has 5 contractors working for her, serves clients across Australia, and earns more than she did in her previous 2 jobs combined, all while having the flexibility to be present for her family. The adversity that seemed like her breaking point became her breakthrough moment. As Maria told me recently, I never would have taken the leap to start my own business if I hadn't been pushed off the cliff by losing my jobs. What felt like the worst thing that could have happened to me financially turned out to be the best. So there you have it. 5 powerful lessons on finding wealth in adversity. Adversity reveals your financial blind spots. Constraints drive innovation. Adversity tests and strengthens your financial systems. Market downturns create buying opportunities. Adversity builds financial resilience. The next time you face financial challenges, whether they're personal or part of a broader economic situation, remember the constraints within these challenges are the seed of opportunity. The question is whether you'll have the courage and perspective to see them and act on them. Financial adversity isn't something any of us would choose, but when it arrives, and it will in some form for all of us, we can choose how we respond to it. We can let it defeat us, or we can use it as a catalyst for growth, innovation, and ultimately greater financial strength. For additional resources, be sure to check out the show notes where I've linked some helpful templates like the Financial Fitness Tracker, the Debt Snowball spreadsheet, and the Financial Terms Glossary. Disclaimer. None of this information should be considered financial advice. I don't know your circumstances and I'm not your financial advisor. You need to take responsibility for your own actions. If you require support with your personal financial circumstances, please seek advice from a qualified professional. Have you ever turned a financial challenge into an opportunity? I'd love to hear your story in the comments below. Your experience might be exactly what someone else in the community needs to hear right now. If you found value in today's episode, please share it with someone who might be facing financial challenges. Sometimes a new perspective is all we need to transform our relationship with money. If you're new to my channel or returning for some fresh insights, welcome. I'm glad you're here. Until next time, I'm Christine. Thank you for committing to a life of freedom, choice, and abundance through financial literacy.